So I guess there's a quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh, man. Not much of a controversy since the last game of the season. Mason's the starter. It looks like he's going to be projected to be the starter the rest of the way. How quickly the tides can turn, man. And how much different the offense looks without Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. And without Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph in there. I mean, it's night and day, the offense, honestly, right now. It's crazy. Night and fucking day. Yo. All right, my audio is working. I'm going to test out this mic. I don't know what else to say, man. I guess Mason earned his start. That's all you can really say. Is Mason earned his start because the offense is just totally different with him in there, bro. It's crazy how different it is. It's just sad, more than anything, to know that we had this talent sitting on the bench the whole time. This talent, it was just there waiting. And it's been there waiting for years and years and years. And now all of a sudden he's come out of nowhere to put on a show. KP refused to pee cuties back at didn't dress. He's an infant. Damn. From what I read, they said he was the emergency quarterback number 3 or some shit like that. It's probably why he didn't dress. Mitchell was in, and they put it as like an injury. He was banged up still. He wasn't fully 100%, so they went with Mason. They still wrote it off as an injury and put him as an emergency third string. It was basically Tomlin just used that to pretty much say, well, we're benching him, but we're not really benching him. No, he couldn't do that this week, and he just pretty much straight up said, we're going with fucking Mason, bro. To beat a Ravens team who could possibly be missing their starters. And a Bills team and a Miami team, division rivals, going at it, clashing in Miami, and the Steelers need Miami to win that game. So I'm thinking that looks like a good game for the Steelers to win and walk away with, honestly. For us, not us to win, but the Bills to win, and for us to get that win to help salvage the season. That's the last game. We're going to have to be watching that. We'll be sitting on the edge of our seats if we win that game against Baltimore. Because we play Saturday, 4:30. They play Sunday, 8:30. So if the Colts and the Houston tie, which is unlikely, or I think it's the Titans beat the Jags or some shit like that, which is not a favorable matchup for Pittsburgh, honestly. Not favorable at all. But you never know. Any given Sunday. I think Trevor Lawrence is banged up. So if he's banged up and he don't play, shit. You never know. Jacksonville's been decent this year. And they slid up. Kind of like us. They're like us. They've had some big wins and they've had some slip ups and some fuck ups. So it's the type of team, if it all comes together, they're more like offensive than defensive, though. Say if their defense starts to have a good game, and their offense plays the way their offense can play, they'll dominate. If we have a quarterback like Mason Rudolph that's making defenses have to respect the deep ball, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to run the ball. That's for sure. And we've been even running the ball with Kenny Pickett late. And we just dominated Seattle. Dominated them. I want to know where Brandon's at. How's he feel after that? He likes to talk so much shit on Pittsburgh all the time. Steeler hater at home. He's bigger Steeler hater than Sirianni. That Cleveland fan. That's saying something, Brandon. But I've been talking about it. What's the future going to look like for the quarterback group now for the Pittsburgh? Because the way the quarterback market's going, who the fuck knows how much Mason's going to get? Or another team like the Saints. Maybe they don't really like Derek Carr. Who knows? There's some teams out there. Carolina. I don't know. Who could take a quarterback? I mostly just follow Pittsburgh, but you never know. I mean, the Giants are paying Daniel Jones $35 million. He's got terrible, and they had one of the worst offenses in the league this year. I think their offense might have been worse than Pittsburgh's. So if there's a team that might want to go out there and say, "Hey, I don't know if Daniels is all guaranteed. I think maybe they can get off it after this year or 2 years." Somebody told me something about his contract, but who knows? They might need a backup, and they're willing to pay decent money for a backup, more than we're willing to pay Mason, because Mason's contract, he's not on contract. That's why I was kind of like, maybe we should just go with Kenny, because Mason hasn't been in the future plans anyway. You passed him over how many times, Tomlin, for Duck, and then for Mitch, and then for Kenny. And now you need him to save your ass, and what she's doing. Mason's playing amazing. So with all that's happened throughout his career, he has an opportunity to hit free agency. Why wouldn't he and his agent literally try to get the best possible position where he can make the most money or have the best possible position to be in a starting role? Maybe that's Pittsburgh. Maybe that is Pittsburgh, because we don't have a quarterback. I mean, is Kenny Pickett the answer? Are we going to go back to Kenny next year after pretty much benching him? I mean, he was terrible all year. Let's not even I don't want to give up on players too early. It's only his second year, but he's been fucking bad, bro. Bad, bad, bad. And this team should be better than what it is. Really, it should be. And he should be better at this point in his career. He should be better as a rookie, because we took him as the first round pick, the first quarterback in the draft. You got people like Brock Purdy outplaying him. Yeah, Brock Purdy's got a great system. Don't get me wrong, but still, Brock Purdy was a 7th round pick. So I don't know, man. There's so many options now, and there's going to be so much speculation. I already see Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray was wearing a freaking. I put it on my community post, a Sidney Crosby jersey. So they try to let people, media companies, and blog sites, and Instagram, they're trying to link that shit together, that somehow we might be able to get Kyler here. Who knows? What is his value? What if the Cardinals just want to get off him and we give him Kenny and a 1st round pick? I'd do that. Sign a Russell Wilson. Sign a Derek Carr. If Kirk Cousins is out there, maybe sign him. Who knows, man? I don't know all the upcoming free agents. I'm really have to look into it. I'm not really in off-season mode. I'm still more in a season mode. But this story is going to be huge, and there's going to be so much speculation. There's going to be so many quarterback names thrown around. It's going to be ridiculous. Those are just some of the things, because they were already talking about Kirk Cousins. Imagine if we had Kirk Cousins, a guy that can throw for 4,000 yards consistently with this defense and this run game. I would love it, bro. Read an article where Kenny Pickett refuses to be Mason's backup. That's what somebody just said. If that's true, let's get rid of him. So we already got drama. I mean, Tomlin pretty much straight up fucking. That's what I'm saying. The way he did it, it's gonna start drama, bro. They fucking. What'd they do? They benched him. I mean, this week against Seattle. I didn't see that article. I've been busy today. But I gotta read that, or I should do a whole damn video about that and read the article. That's ridiculous if he is saying that. You're not gonna be Mason's backup. Well, let's trade him then, dude. Fuck, get rid of him. What's Kenny worth? Nothing. They got a 3rd round pick for Trey Lance. Maybe we get a 3rd round pick for Kenny. We'd be lucky to get a 2nd. And who's he going to start for anywhere else, really, in the league? He's been the worst quarterback in the league this year. Let's just tell it how it is, bro. Was it all his fault? No. Was Canada terrible? Yeah. Or the play calling bad? Yeah. Is the offensive line been bad at the beginning of the year? Yeah. Did we start slow running the ball? Yeah. But has he missed open receivers, easy, money, wide open receivers every pretty much game that he's played in this year? Yeah. He's only thrown for 2,000 yards this season, which is terrible. Only 6 touchdowns, which is terrible. And that's just not enough, bro, in today's NFL. It's just not. And especially the way he was in the game in the mid part of the season where we were running the ball well, and he still wasn't really able to do nothing throwing the ball or stretching it vertically. He's scared to take it that deep or take a fucking chance down the field. Dude, I was big on Mason Rudolph the whole time. I was big on Mason Rudolph. I never think we should have drafted Kenny. We never should have drafted him. I said just go with Mason. He had 1 year left on his deal. But that's neither here nor there now. Is he really the guy you want to go forward as your future quarterback? Really? Is he really a franchise quarterback? Are we really going to deal him out 3 years, $20 million a year or something crazy like that? 3 years, $15 million a year, something like that. Or do you go get somebody with like some real pedigree, like a Kirk Cousins if he's out there, a Derek Carr if he's out there, draft a guy. And even if you're drafting a guy, you're taking a risk. So Simon Mason's taking a risk and drafting a guy's taking a risk. And really wanting to go forward with a rookie, a quarterback, I don't know, man. I want to see a veteran step in there and do something. I mean, I had faith if I was going to root for him. I mean, they named him the starter. So just going forward and saying they should start Mason over Kenny, there's really nothing that you can go off of by saying that. The only reason I wanted to keep Mason is because his team had so many problems. Before these last 2 years, we've been running the ball. But the years before that, this team was terrible and could not run the ball worth nothing. It was terrible. The offensive line was terrible. I mean, part of it was due with Ben, I think. We didn't have great running backs. Now we have a good dynamic duo, and the offensive line has not been great, but it's been better than what it's been. It's getting better. I say it's trending in the right direction. There's still moves that need to be made to solidify it to be top tier, but I think it's trending in the right direction. Next season, Kenny should have to compete for quarterback one. They basically gifted him it this year. They just said, here you go. And that's the biggest thing with Mason. He never had a full off season to really. That was Kenny's like pass last year by the media and everybody is like he didn't have a full off season. He was splitting reps, blah blah blah. Now he's got the full off season. He's putting in all this work with the receivers, this and that. He's going to be better, and you got to hope. Like Tomlin talked about it before the season, a reasonable expectation is for him to be better than what he was last year. And I think reasonably he should have thrown for 3,500 yards this year and 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, maybe 15 interceptions. But if you keep it at 10, that would be great. And he's not putting up a ton of yards, but he's being somewhat productive and he's not turning the ball over with 20 and 10. He has 6 and 4, but there's absolutely no production whatsoever offensively. Like Brett Favre threw the most interceptions, but he also threw the most touchdowns. All right, so you got to risk it sometimes. You got to be able to make the defense respect the fact that you have a passing game. And when Kenny Pickett's in there, they have absolutely no respect for him or the passing game or the Steelers offense, to me, is what it seems like, bro. Honestly, they stack the box to hell and back. Draft the most athletic players. Draft talent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who knows who's going to be there? What if you can get an amazing inside linebacker first-round pick? You know what I mean? Because we really need an inside linebacker. So do you take that quarterback? Do you waste another first-round pick on a quarterback, or do you go out there and get yourself a great inside linebacker? Me and Ernie both wanted a center over Kenny, and we need a center. Mason Cole's overpaid trash. So if you got a solidified center right there, boom, to solidify the offensive line for years to come with Broderick and a new center. Hopefully Dan Moore will get better. I mean, we could go tackle, but I would like to see center. I mean, and get rid of Chuk's contract. Guard, we got Samola. We get that center. You know, we'd be pretty good on offensive line then next year. A lot better, honestly. I say we need another corner to play by JPJ too. Honestly, you get another shutdown corner with this defense. Oh my god. Oh my lord. You got Minka, TJ, everybody locked down. So I like off-season content more than anything. You can speculate on this shit all day, really. But really, it's all speculation. And there's 1,000 different ways you can go, honestly. But I haven't really been looking into like the salary cap. Usually I'll look in, I have been a little bit, and like a Mitchell Trubisky contract I feels bad. Mason Cole's contract I feels bad. Shook's contracts I feels bad. A few others definitely can cut the dead weight. Yeah, I don't get into all that. I have like really. You said I made a channel for drama content. Honestly, that's just do where I live my panels. You can't even have people come up here on this live. I've worked too hard on this channel. I'm not gonna let Joe Walsh and all these people come up pouring bomb my channel like and just bring this drama. I really don't care about it. I mean, I do like going on panels sometimes, but I barely even go live. I mostly just put stupid clips on that other channel. And then if I like really have to like address something, which I really don't have to, but sometimes I feel I need to, and I do. Sometimes I do get in a little trolling mood though, most of the time. But I've been pretty consistent with this channel this year. Like the last month I didn't, but that's because we was working crazy because the holidays coming up. And we was working 6 days a week. It's pushing us. But we had a bunch of time off this week, and I put out a bunch of videos, especially with all this drama going on with the quarterback room. Like I've been saying in the other ones, bro, this is going to be the biggest story all off season long, bro. All off season long. It's going to be crazy. And honestly, there's some talent in this draft class. Then who knows? We might be able to find a decent guy in the second or the third round. Like a JJ McCarthy might slip to the second or the third round. I don't think a Michael Penix would slip to the second or the third round, but you never fucking know. They were talking about Malik Willis being a first round, just blockbuster guaranteed. They were even saying Malik over Kenny. And some Steeler fans wanted Malik. I wanted Malik over Kenny. I was saying, hey, why don't we just wait? If you're going to do a guy, get like a Desmond Ritter in the second or third round or some shit like that. I was even making a case for Desmond Ritter over Kenny Pickett, honestly. Draft a quarterback by 2025. So then we'd have to sign Mason for 3 years, something like that. 2 years, a year, give him a year deal, 15 million, 20 million. Mason might do that. Get Mason on a 1 year, $15 million deal, $20 million deal. As a start, Mitchell, put it this way. Mitchell Trubisky's like set to make $12 million next year. And who is better, Mitchell Trubisky or Mason Rudolph? Mason Rudolph. And he showed he's better and deserves to have. If I'm his agent, all right, and if I'm looking at Mitchell Trubisky's salary, I'm saying my boy wants $1.5 million at least, or $1 million more than this bum ass scrub that you're paying $12 million a year. Period. So I'd say the going rate minimum right now that we're going to get Mason for is a 1 year, $13 million deal, which wouldn't be that bad of a deal, honestly, especially if he plays the way he's playing. Shit, he has like the best quarterback rating in the league right now. He's balling, bro, balling. But one thing, we can't let this hype get ahead of us, because even if Baltimore started sitting some of their people, it's still going to be a tough game. I'd say even with not a full defense, Baltimore's defense is probably better than Seattle's defense, top to bottom. Seattle's defense was trash. Cincinnati's defense is trash, and they didn't have Joe Burrow in that game. Yes, Mason played well, but you go up against a Miami team that's going to put up a ton of points, he might not look so good. And then he starts to get pressed. And then that's when he might start turning the ball over, because he's going to have to start pressing it down the field. You know, we've gotten lucky and we've gotten off the quick leads, and the defense backed them up, forced turnovers, made the game easy for us, and we ran the ball very well. Seattle was one of the worst run-stopping defenses in the league, and we took full advantage of it. Najee and Jalen ran all over them fools. All over them fools. There's another big thing we can talk. Who's the OC gonna be? There's a whole other fucking story. And I don't think, and the Steelers' way is, do you you know what I mean? You hire from within, but I don't know, man. I don't want to hire from within. And if we're gonna go and get another quarterback, like, you got to get an offensive coordinator that's good at developing quarterbacks, because that's the biggest issue right now with the Pittsburgh Steelers is the quarterback. Obviously, not the last 2 games, but all season long in the last year, everybody wanted to blame Matt Canada. Now he's ding dong, the witch is dead, bro. And you know what I mean? Well, we got to get better at quarterback. We got to be able to get first downs. You just can't go 3 and out every time. Like, we dominated in time of possession that game, and we've been getting killed in time of possession all year. And that's really what our defense needed, because our defense is so banged up, really, because of the offense leaving them out to dry and leaving them out on the field all year long, pretty much. So the defense is spent, bro. Really. So it's great these last 2 games we've been able to dominate, really, in time of possession, to give them the much rest they need to come into this game and then hopefully get this win and get some help from Miami, which I think we can get. We get this win and get a help from Miami on Sunday night against Buffalo. We're motherfucking in. Or if I think it's the Titans beat the Jags, we're fucking in. If it wasn't for Mike Tomlin, we would beat a 2-10 team. You know what I mean? That's why I said why we like Mason. This is on Tomlin, bro. I was blaming Tomlin for it, bro, because you had Mason sitting on a roster. And Mitchell went out there and pretty much put us on the outside looking in, bro. Mitchell Trubisky is the reason why we're on the outside looking in. And you did not give Mason reps all year long. And now we're basically asking him to save your ass. And now you got fans coming in here to say Matt Canada is fucking the franchise quarterback in Matt Canada for 2024. So I don't even know. But that is a Patton and Tomlin game, without a doubt. Losing, and those are 2 Patton and Tomlin games in a row. Just losing to a team we had no business losing to, period, point blank. I don't really say how he was immature. Everybody said he called Myles Garrett that word, but the NFL investigated that shit, and there's nothing came of it, bro. Nobody backed up his story. He got bashed over the head. He got hurt. And then he got off to a little bit slow start against Cincinnati. And then he put Hodges in there. He just said, boop. And he was playing decent. He was playing better than Kenny was playing. And he kept rolling with that hot garbage for all year long until he got hurt. And then Mitch, he had no other choice because Mitch was so damn bad. He's like, well, we got to throw this bum in here now for hope and a prayer. He saves my ass. And he comes out and he's playing like goddamn Peyton Manning, a guard that you passed over I don't know how many fucking times already, bro. And we wasted a whole first-round draft pick on Kenny. And then we moved up to get Broderick. And if we would, like I was saying, like if we would have just fucking got a lineman that year, we wouldn't have had to move up to get Broderick. Maybe we would have. Maybe we would have moved up and got C.J. Stroud, and this team would be set. So nice right now. But here we are. We're in the market for a quarterback right now. That's the number one, I think. And Mason, yes, you got to consider it, but I think the Steelers have to consider all their options, just like Mason has to consider all his options, because he probably will have at least a few options. And if he wins this game against Baltimore, and then if he wins a playoff game, and then if he wins another playoff game, and then if he wins another playoff game, and then they go on to win the Super Bowl, obviously we'd have to pay Mason. And then we have to pay him a lot of money. And is he really the answer? Is he that dude? Because like I've been saying, at the end of the day, we just beat 2 teams with pretty much trash-ass defenses, bro. All right? That's what we did. Leave Mitch in the ditch. Mason Rudolph for 2024. He's goated. Mitch Trubisky is some shit. We about to roll these Ravens. Mitch's get stitches. That's what he needs right now. I'm surprised nobody pulled up on him, honestly. I'm not going to advocate that, because if I start doing that, my channel will probably get flagged down for violence. But knowing Yinzer's in Pittsburgh, I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised. There was at least a little bit of vandalism or something went down on his little heaven shack, his shack. I don't know. Probably lives in like Squirrel Hill or some shit, or Upper St. Clair. Who knows? Some who's bougie ass little neighborhood. I don't know. They did it to Tommy Maddox one time. Mitchell just said he gave the Colts. That's who we. That's who. If we would have just beat the goddamn Colts, fuck losing to them 2-10 teams. We still had the season right in front of us, and then we went and we blew the damn Colts game too. We started off good that game too. Then Mitchell just said, here you go." So I don't know. He didn't just beat them; he spit on them. I mean, he has been dominant. There ain't no doubt about it. We dominated Seattle, bro. We dominated Cincinnati. Like that's what I've been saying all year. If we just had mediocre quarterback play to where the defense would get a little bit of break, you actually picked up first downs, and then when the defense gets you good field position, at least capitalize with three. Oh, more than like want to punch it in for seven, but at least count because there were so many times, even this season, I've been talking about how the defense sets Kenny Pickett up with great field position, and we can't even pick up a first down. We can't even go 10, 15 yards to put goddamn Boz in position to get three. After the defense pretty much just sets you up, you just have to pick up one first down, and then it's just gold, easy money for Boz. But not, we can't even do that. He couldn't even do that. He couldn't even do that. So, yeah, this is the biggest question in the offseason. Who, where, how, why, and what way do the Steelers go with this quarterback room? And who's going to be the answer? Because right now, I mean, Tomlin pretty much said it ain't Mason. We're going with something. We're going where it ain't Kenny. I think he has like 56 catches or something this year for like 1,000 yards. George Pickens is nice, bro, and we do need to get him more targets. And maybe Deontay Johnson. I don't like Deontay Johnson. Maybe he's a guy you can consider to trade. Maybe you put him and Kenny in a draft pick in for like a Kyler Murray or like I don't know if Kirk Cousins is still on contract. If we have to trade for Kirk Cousins, we might be able to get Kirk Cousins for cheap. Deontay, Kenny, and like a third round pick. Deontay, Kenny, and a second round pick. I don't know for Kirk Cousins. I think he's got talent, but George is that dude. You only really need one good wide receiver on the team, and he's making a lot of money. So with that decision, to me, I'm not only thinking that we're pretty much keying him in on to be the number one. We're paying him to be the number one, and George really has the most talent. So why don't we just get rid of that contract? Try to get a little something back for him. And then we can get some decent wide receivers to play next to George to go over the middle, and then you just send George deep because that's what he wants to do, and that's what he should be doing is going deep every game. J&1. We need to stay young at quarterback. Well, Mason is pretty much he's 28, going on 29. Give Mason a 3-year deal and a real chance to start. That's what I was saying. I mean, I was saying a 1-year deal. Like we're looking at going rate right now. The way I'm thinking it is Mason bare minimum is going to get $13 million per year. Is Mason Rudolph worth $13 million per year? That's bare minimum because Mitch is making like 12. So if I'm his agent, I'm not going less than that. I'm not going less than that. I'm not going to budge off that. You were giving me at least $13 million to play on any team if Mitch is making that, period. So what, that would be like a 3-year, we'll just say $15 million. That would be a 3-year, $45 million deal. Plus you got to give him like a bonus. So it'd be like a $50-60 million deal for Mason Rudolph. Is that really what you want to do? Or do you want to, like you said, stay young at quarterback? Where would you put that? Stay young at quarterback and draft a guy. Draft a Phoenix. Draft a J.J. McCarthy. Hope Kenny pans out. If we were going to hope Kenny pans out, we should have just started him. But the hope is over. Tomlin wants to save his ass right now and save the season. It's looking like he might save his ass and sneak into the playoffs possibly because if Baltimore's starting there resting, and I think Miami could beat Buffalo, boy, definitely, and that's the win we need. Buffalo over Miami over Buffalo. What would you do if we beat the Ravens in the Super Bowl in a blowout fashion? Well, for one, we wouldn't play the Ravens in the Super Bowl because they're in our conference. So we would have to play them in the AFC Championship. And if that happens, man, I'd be going crazy, bro. I'd be going nuts. I hate the Ravens, bro. I hate the Ravens. I hate them. With the landscape, and I say he gets us to the AFC or divisional, hypothetically speaking, if we get in, LOL. Think if we pull the Jags, we could beat them. I think if we pull the Kansas City, that would be tough. Miami would be tough. I mean, we have to play one of those teams. Let's see. Let me look at the AFC right now. Hold on. Let me pull. We would have to play Miami. We would have to play Miami right now. Say if we somehow get into that thing, they win, which I think they will, and then we win and we get in. Because they're the second seed, so we would be the last wild card, and they would be the first. They would be the first team to play. I believe how it's set up now. So we would play Miami or Kansas City, one of the two. It's looking like Miami if we get in. And that's really where we're going to find out if Mason's the guy, because Seattle can put up some points. Cincinnati can with Joe Burrow, but they didn't have Joe Burrow, and their defense is ass. Seattle's defense is ass, and they're not that good. We're better than Seattle, and we proved it. We dominated them. And, we'll see where we can go, because this is a team that can put up some numbers, bro. A lot of points on offense. And Mason's going to have to be right there with them, even on our defense. And our defense is banged up right now. Hopefully we can get Minka back before the playoff time. Hopefully we get him back for this game. We can get anyone in the AFC. I mean, we almost beat the Jags. We beat the Ravens already, and they're the best team in the AFC. We beat the Browns, and they're one of the best teams in the league. That's what I've been saying all year. If we had just a mediocre quarterback play, all three phases of the game are going to come together, and we're going to start dominating teams, bro. We're going to start dominating teams. I've been saying all year, defense ain't dead. It ain't about the quarterback. If you can run the ball, if you can play the defense, especially in January and December, bro, you can win games. I've been saying it all year. And if we just get in there, man, and Mason just keeps striving and thriving, bro, and Pickens keeps lighting it up the way he can light it up, and defenses have to respect that fact. We're going to dominate on the ground, and then our defense is going to be actually getting breaks, sitting there, playing with leads, because Pittsburgh's defense is built to play with the lead. It's aggressive defense, and then once we got a lead, they can disguise their blitzes and bring blitzes and do so many different things and take so many more risks on defense to where we can just dominate and just start forcing turnovers and really just crush fools, bro. Really. We can. We can. That's another thing. He's going to be playing against a team. If they're resting their starters, like there ain't no Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. If I'm resting my starters, if I'm Baltimore, I'm taking Lamar out. I'm taking a lot of them juicy wide receivers you got out of the game, some of my linemen. So if there's no Roquan Smith in the game and there's no Patrick Queen, if I'm Mason Rudolph, I'm just going to turn around and hand it to Naj, and I'm going to hand it to Jalen Warren all game, because we should dominate on the ground that game too. If them two ain't playing, we should be able to run all over them. I think we ran for like 200 on them this year, and we ran for like a $190 on them last year, bro. So this team can really run the ball, bro. Like the past 2 years we've been dominant on the ground, really. And so it really kind of boils down to the quarterback position, man, just being fucking terrible. And now Mason taking the top off the defense. This offense just looks at the best. It's a whole new offense, man. It's a whole new offense. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes comes to the Steelers, see, this is what I'm saying. This is all off-season speculation. That'll never happen. That'll be like, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be, oh, we're going to sign Kirk Cousins. We're going to sign Derek Carr. They're already spinning that because Kyler Murray, I went with it too, just to do it. He was wearing a Crosby jersey, so now he's going to get traded here. And there's so many different quarterbacks we can take in this draft class. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Penix Jr., that LSU boy that just won the Heisman. And there's probably a lot of other names. This is a pretty good quarterback class, better than when Kenny was drafted. So there's a million different directions you can go, and there's so much shit. You can talk about this shit all day, really, because you can go any different way. I preferably feel, I don't know. It would be nice to find a franchise quarterback, but it's a hard risk. And this team, like I've been saying, if we just had mediocre quarterback play, if we had a Kirk Cousins on this team, if we didn't try to reach with Kenny Pickett and take Kenny Pickett to be the franchise guy and rolled out with that trash and just tried to bridge the gap with Mason and then say it didn't work. And then we got CJ Stroud this year, bro. That Houston game would be a definite win. Cleveland would have been a win. Jacksonville would have been a win. And we probably would have beat them 2-2-10 teams. And we would have the best record in football right now if we just had a good quarterback. So if there is a Kirk Cousins out there, if there is a Matthew Stafford out there, if there is a Kyler Murray out there, even a Russell Wilson, a guy that's been there, done that, and can really, is going to get you consistent numbers with this offense to really turn this offense around. And why wouldn't you spend the money on one of those guys? I mean, yeah, Mason's a part of the system. It's the Rooney way, blah, blah, blah. But this is just 2 games, man. This is 2 games against 2 trash defenses. So I think Matt brings up a good point. If he goes out there, this is a Ravens defense. Even if they're resting some of their starters, bro, I'd say this Ravens defense is better than the fucking the Seahawks. Period. Defense. The Seahawks defense was booty, bro. Booty. We ran all over those fools. Pocket presence was the biggest difference I saw from KP and Mason. Mason went through his progressions. I seen that too. I've been saying that. Kenny got happy feet in the pocket. As soon as he starts to feel pressure, he's like, he starts bouncing and he's looking and he's scattered and he starts running and he tries to do things in college that he can do, but in NFL he can't do. You got to be able to stand in the pocket and look down your receiver. You're trying to do Big Ben things and you're not Big Ben. You're trying to be mobile in the NFL, and yeah, you got a little bit of mobility, but you got 6'4", 250-pound linebackers that can run just as quick as you, if not faster than you. This is the league. You can't outrun backers and linebackers. And even some defensive linemen, 300-pound motherfuckers, is probably just as quick as Kenny. So, Kenny Pickett could only put up 16 points, and that was his best game of the season, and we beat the Ravens this year with Kenny Pickett. I'm a KP fan, but how I see it on KP. Yeah, I'll call it how I see it too. I'm not a fan. I'm not really that big of a fan. I didn't want to draft him, but he's a Steelers quarterback. I'm going to have faith that he can get better. But, bro, it's been trash. It's been trash. And Mason has just come out of nowhere, getting no reps all year, and steps in there and looks like goddamn Peyton Manning, bro. So, obviously, something's wrong here, dude. Something is wrong with Kenny Pickett, man. And, Mitchell was terrible. Are these just 2 super hot games Mason had against 2 bad defenses? That's another question. We're going to find out come Sunday, bro. Or Saturday, actually. That's terrible. Only 16 points. And we was cheering. All I was shit. We that was like our first 400-yard game, and what it was like 50 game, 40 something ridiculous, bro. First 50-yard game, man. So, how's this audio coming? Make sure everybody hits the like and subscribe button and shit, bro, and help the channel out, dude. Pickett ain't it for sure. Didn't want him coming out. I didn't want him coming out either. Really. But you do, at the end of the day, got to give your rookie a little bit of time to develop. So, but he's been trash. And it's going to be a big story, man. All offseason, Mason's pretty good quarterback. Let us get a good quarterback and we'll be in contention. We're in contention right now, bro, with a horrible Kenny Pickett. And if he didn't go down against the Cardinals, And if he didn't go down against the Colts and he didn't go down against the Patriots, I feel we probably could have won one of those games even with Kenny. Like the Colts game, Mitchell Trubisky. Like one thing Kenny did, like I don't like Kenny. I don't think he's good. But opposed to him versus Mitch, Mitch just goes out there and just literally just gives he just says, "Here you go." He just hands it to the other team. Kenny at least didn't turn it over. So even with Kenny right now, bro, I guarantee we'd have at least one more win. And within that 3-game stretch that we lost, we would have at least one more win. We would have beat the Patriots or we would have beat the goddamn Colts, bro. Yeah, that Colts game especially because the defense was playing good. The offense got off good, and then Mitchell just went in there and he just blew that shit. Same with the Patriots game. No, there was no excuses for those games, bro. It was terrible. Should be an open competition here, but the yesteryear, oh, he got the key. He got the keys. Tomlin already named him the starter. He's got the keys. And if he gets in the playoffs, he gave him the keys for this one. There ain't no way he don't get the keys for against whoever we play in the playoffs. It's over for Kenny this season. And then if you bring in a Kirk Cousins, I don't think there's no competition, bro. There isn't a competition. It's Kirk Cousins is the starter, and then Kenny is the backup. And then you can cry the blues because you're the backup to Kirk Cousins, a guy who I think he's thrown for 5,000 yards in a season. So imagine if we had a quarterback, not even 5,000. We didn't even get 5,000 out of fucking his ass. We just need 4,000 yards. Imagine if we could have got 4,000 yards out of a quarterback this year. If we could get 4,000 yards out of a quarterback this year, this team would have been fucking. We'd have the North right now. We'd already have the playoff spot locked up, and we'd be walking into Baltimore to pretty much just sign, seal, and deliver that for. We would be the number 1 seed in the NFL right now if we just had a good quarterback, bro. We would be the number 1 seed in the NFL. Telling you, without a doubt. And this team's set up for the future, and I'm going to be talking about that a lot in the offseason. Like I said, there's a lot of I like doing offseason content more than regular season content because I've been talking about it a little bit now, and I haven't really dug deep into the salary cap thing yet. Like I really researched it, like the salary cap and the contracts, and who are all the free agents coming up in free agency. But there's a lot of contracts that this team can move. And this team's flush with salary caps, and they got pretty much everybody locked down, especially on defense. And this defense is elite, bro. And we got young players who are just only going to get better on this defense, like Herbig. This whole draft class on defense, Benton's only going to get better, Porter's only going to get better, Herbig's only going to get better. So this defense is really legit and set up for years to come. Now, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why? I mean, it would be nice to score on a franchise quarterback in the draft. But if you got a Kirk Cousins right there in free agency that you can throw $25-30 million on a 1-year deal to come in and just really reshape this whole offense to help lead us to a fucking Super Bowl next year, why not do it? Or we're going to take a risk on Mason to be the guy. He's 29 years old. We're going to be next year, 29. So we signed him to 29, 30, 31. So he's basically, he's in his prime. We passed it. So why not get a guy that's really, that has a track record? Because this isn't a track record for Mason. And I've been saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. This is 2 games. 2 games. That not only just the fan base needs to not get so hyped up off, the whole team in that locker room can't get hyped on because they have to take care of big business on Saturday against the best team, I will say, the best team in the NFL, the Super Bowl favorite. I said was going to win a division before the season. I said since he's getting too much hype, they had an easy schedule last year. They lost talent. It's going to be a whole different road for Cincinnati this year, and look where they're at. And I said the Baltimore Ravens are set up, and they're the best. And as much as I hate them, and I don't want to, they're the best team in the league right now, bro. And we're the best division in football right now. And this team should at least have 2 or 3 more wins. And we should be playing for this division right now. But we got to handle business. And we got to win our game. And then hopefully we can get help. And we can get help, I think, easily from Miami over Buffalo. That's going to be a hell of a game, too. So, and that's the last game of the season, regular season, Sunday night, primetime on NBC. And if we win that game, we're going to be waiting on Saturday. And we're going to be waiting until 8:30. I have a feeling. That's the game. All us Steelers fans are going to be sitting on the edge of our seats to the outcome of that game to where we either glide our way in or We just missed again, and it's another mediocre Mike season. And then they're going to be calling for Mike. They're going to be like, should we extend Mike Tomlin? There's a whole other storyline because they're already talking about trading Mike Tomlin, extending. I've seen varying reports. Some say we're going to trade him. Some say we're going to extend him. So who knows what they're going to do with that? To me, I say don't trade him. Don't extend him. If we win a playoff game this year, he has definitely earned an extension. But why extend him if we don't win a playoff game this year? If we miss the playoffs, why extend him? Why do the Rooney when you have 1 year left extension? We'll make him do that 1 year, and then because this team should win a playoff game next year. Maybe we weren't really supposed to win a playoff this year. And we let some games slide that we shouldn't have let slide. But Vegas had us at 8.5, and we're sitting at 9 and have a chance to go to 10 and have a chance to get in the dance. And once you're in the dance, anybody got a chance, baby. So, well, it's Mike Tomlin standards. Mike Tomlin's lose 3 games with Mitch Trubisky just to change, not with another team, even if you went out. I mean, I have been calling him out, and I'm one of his biggest defenders. That's why I was like, Kenny Pickett. So I said Kenny Pickett should start because he's been rolling with this shit. That's coaching and his whatchamacallit, how are you going to say this word? Evaluation of talent. His evaluation of the talent of the quarterback room. That is, you can't put that on general managing. You can't put that on nothing else but coaching. And that is a mismanagement of your resources in your quarterback room. 100 and million, 50 trillion %. 100%, bro. 100. And I will say the 3 years before Kenny Pickett, when we signed Ben to that big, that's not so much on Tomlin. And Tomlin gets, honestly, credit for the year Ben went down and we had that great year and he was able to put that season together. That's why I said we should have just went with Mason and not even drafted Kenny because his team had so many problems and he had 1 year left on his deal. I said, let him roll out there, bridge the gap, build the team, and then draft a new quarterback. So who knows what they're going to do, man? There's probably going to be some decent free agent quarterbacks out there. And this team got money and salary cap to where if they really wanted to and they make a few cuts, cut Mitchell's trash contract, cut a couple of them trash offensive lines contracts, boom, boom, boom. You get off that Deontay contract, shoot, they're going to have some money. They'll have a lot of money in salary cap then. Then you just roll with GP as your number 1 receiver. He deserved it. I mean, those are 2-10 teams. And you let them get so hyped in that Cincy game. It was a big game, but we didn't win nothing. And they were like, that's not what the Steelers are about, bro. Dancing and celebrating games like that don't mean nothing. You got to instill that mentality that this NFL, like I've been saying all year, the NFL season is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and we got to handle business. Even though it looks easy and we think we're going to win and we should win, we still got to handle business, and we still got to get better in all 3 phases of the game because we got a game after that and a game after that and a game after that and a game after that, and then a whole other second season to worry about. So it wasn't the time. That definitely was not the time to dance in Cincinnati. And that's the theme. Like that 1 year we beat them, okay. Nobody counted us out. We went in there and we got that huge win. Okay, they went crazy. They had a party. They had a dance. They filmed it. And even if you are partying after the game or whatever, like you don't have to make it. You make yourself look stupid. You put a target on your back to a team that you haven't been that good all year and you have no reason and nothing to celebrate. You have nothing to celebrate. So keep that shit in house, bro. Keep that shit in fucking house. Because look where we're at. We could have lost to Cincinnati last week and they would have fucking eliminated our whole season. And then what? They'd have been dancing. Why can't your trap take over your trap? Why can't your trap take over you? They would have been dancing and laughing and putting their middle fingers up. Ha ha. We stole your season. You're lucky Mason saved your season, Tomlin. That's all I got to say on that. Like, straight up, bro. Straight up. Straight up. That's definitely a good job. He did a good season. I mean, we're ahead of schedule this season. So I'm saying we're a team that slipped up games we shouldn't have slipped up. You can definitely you got to question him, but there's going to be that narrative build up. I said it before the game. Are we going to Tomlin this game? And they Tomlin that game because that is a theme with Tomlin. Every year there's that 1 or 2 games. There's a thing like you have it circled before the season, like just a cupcake around that game because it should be a cupcake, and somehow the cupcake eats us. It happens all the time, and we haven't won a playoff game in a very long time. So that's why I say if we don't get to the playoffs this year, why extend him? He has 1 year left on his deal. Let him play. No, he don't deserve to be fired. He's the winningest coach in franchise history. You don't fire a man like that. You just don't. That's not the Steelers' way. You just don't do that. He won us the Super Bowl. He's taken us to 2, and he's just hit 17 years without a losing season. You don't fire a man like that. But if his contract runs up and we don't make the playoffs, sometimes you go your separate ways and we're going to go our separate ways and we're going to move in a new direction. You're going to have to move in direction, and it might be best for both parties. But he doesn't deserve to be fired. And, if we don't win it, that's, will he get extended? Will he not get extended? That's probably going to be the biggest question. Because I know they're not going to fire him. Do I think they're going to trade him? I don't really think they'll trade him either. Maybe. But I doubt they'll do that. But there's rumors that he's going to get traded. So, I don't know. These live streams have been doing more better now that people come in and actually add to the chat. So shout out to everybody in the chat. I've been doing a lot of videos though too. The videos I think work better for the algorithm to get your channel seen more. It's about hashtags too. You gotta, you put hashtags in your videos. I've noticed videos that I don't put tags in, they don't do good. But if I do tags in, I'll go to sleep. It'll be like 30 views, and I wake up, it pops into an algorithm, and then it's just whoop. Got all these comments and shit. It's crazy. But we'll see, man. The season went quick. That's the last game of the motherfucking season. All the marbles are on the line. And we'll see where the Steelers go from here. But what I'll say is I think we have a good roster to build off of going into next year. So why fire Tomlin, really? Yeah, Kenny didn't pan out, and that definitely goes on him. Yeah, he rolled out there with his shitty ass play. That goes on him. They signed Mitchell Babitsky. That goes on him and Omar Khan. And who thought that he could possibly be a guy that could guide this franchise in the right direction? When you had a guy on your roster that could have probably did it for a lot cheaper, and you wouldn't have had to invest a first-round pick, and you wouldn't have to invest $12 million. Whatever it was, it was like a 3-year, $25 million deal or whatever it was with Trubisky. I don't know the exact numbers, but come on, man. He's trash. Yeah, I mean, that's YouTube reactions are good. It's like, dude, if I did live play-by-play, I'd go nuts, bro. I'm telling you. I'm a diehard fan. You get real shit on here, watch him. He'll all drunk. He'll go crazy over this team. Come on, man. Fuck, I'm going to be going crazy on Sunday or Saturday. I know that. We're going to see, baby. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers! In the fight for their playoff life. Oh, man. You can't write it any other way, boy. Let's go, Steelers. Woo. I mean, I would write it another way. Because we got them 2 fucking cupcake-ass fucking squads. Beat the Colts. Beat Cleveland. And then we'd be resting our starters right now. Fuck. But we got to fight for our fucking life. In Tomlin fashion. So, we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. We got 1 game left and need fucking help. When we controlled our own destiny all year with Kenny Pickett, that was another thing why I said, and that was his thing. That's his standard. And that's his philosophy. That if a player gets hurt, they shouldn't lose their job due to injury. And he says that all year. Why? Oh, well, that's why he started Levi Wallace over people and certain things when he should have been. He was getting called out for not putting Broderick in quicker or putting Joey Porter Jr. in quicker. And, well, I don't think players should lose due to injury. Well, you did it with Kenny. So obviously, it's not just due to injury, and it ain't because he sucked. You just don't want to say it. You don't want to come out and say it. You don't want to come out and say it. And from what I didn't even see that report, but Ernie was in here saying that fucking he definitely got happy feet. Mike Tomlin need to invest in backups. This is unacceptable. We need a fucking starter. And then we got to worry about the backup. You do need a backup, but shit, we need a starter too. And I think we was deep at inside linebacker, bro. Honestly, safety too. There's just been a lot of injuries, and that has to do with the offense being so fucking bad and leaving the defense out on the field the whole fucking game, every game. Physical league. And if you're out there a majority of the time, week in and week out, and your offense is going 3 and out every fucking goddamn time, the injuries are going to start to pile up on defense. And that's where we're at right now, really. Because we had a pretty, it wasn't great, but the little three-headed monster they had was starting to click, man. And then they all got, like, 2 of them got hurt in that one. I forget what game it was, but 2 of them got hurt in that one game. I think Holcomb and Quan. But we got lucky finding Jack and that Jaden Smith. I think he's gonna end up making an impact. Like if this game he'll probably play and against the Ravens. I don't know if he played in that last game or not. He might have. So Henry Wheeler. I don't pay too much attention to NFC teams. I mostly pay attention to the Steelers and the AFC North. But NFC teams, I feel, are soft as fucking baby shit, bro. That's what I think. I think the AFC is where it's at. The AFC is where the old school real football is played. Smash mouth, dirty football. And I've been pushing that narrative too because they've been pushing it like the media that the Rooney way's dead and defense is dead. Well, I'm here to tell y'all. The Ravens and the Browns and the Steelers are 3 of the best teams in the league. I don't care what nobody fucking says. But all 3 of these teams are 3 of the best teams in the league. And they can beat fucking anybody, bro. Any given Sunday, we can beat anybody. And if Mason keeps playing the way he's playing, any given Sunday, this team can beat any motherfucker. And I say, well, Saturday, it's going to be any given Saturday. We're going to walk into Baltimore just like we fucking did last year, and we're going to take over that trap, baby. And you're going to be, that's when they can celebrate. That's when you can celebrate. If you fucking win that game, and then you can dance a little bit. You can celebrate. Season's over. You did what you had to do. You got 10 wins. This was a win season if you get to 10 wins. And we just got to hope fate, goes our way a little bit with Miami and Buffalo. I think it's the Jags. I believe it's the Jags and Titans. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is still hurt or not, but that'll be interesting. No, I'm not joking. NFC soft. The Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now. Better than the Niners, better than the Eagles, better than the Cowboys. The Ravens will beat all them chumps. That's a good game. I'd go Steelers, bro. But the Eagles are better than us, but I'd go Steelers. If we get there, that would be nice, huh? That would be nice. I just want to get to the playoffs, man. I just want to see the Steelers win one fucking game in the playoffs. So I've had a lot of time off this week, so I've been able to get some content up. Eli's been doing good too. Doing all right. I'm in some good comments. It helps for the comments. Actually, I should start taking my lives, and then I could just upload videos from my lives. I could do that easily on here. But I think that does it for the Yin's Power Hour for today, pretty much. That wraps it up. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell and all that shit. Share. Let's go, Steelers. I'm probably going to bump out a few videos, too. I think Ernie Stautner is live, so I'm going to see what he's doing over there.